visited one of the most efficient Nigerian factory that is manufacturing PV panels. And why this is important for us, it's if we look at the Nigerian energy transition plan, a country requires about $410 billion to achieve complete energy transition. Not only that, for us to bridge the electricity access gap in the country, we required a minimum of $40 billion to achieve that. Not only that, if you look at the numbers of employment that the renewable energy space created last year, a total of about 14 million jobs were created last year. Out of that 14 million, China accounted for over 7 million of those jobs. And the entire African continent accounted for only 320,000 jobs, where Nigeria, being a country that has the greatest potential for distributed renewable energy, only accounted for not more than 70,000 jobs that have been created. It's now reached to a time that the country has to be deliberate, has to be structured for us to make sure that we use the challenge of electricity access in the country and convert it into opportunities. And people like my brother here, who is the pioneer or the promoter of the LPV company, have taken the bullet and making Nigeria changing this narrative from the challenge to opportunities. The LPV is the first integrated, vertically reintegrated renewable energy service company that has invested in the manufacturing, invested in the implementation, and also invested in talent, building talent pipeline in the country. This is something that the country requires. This is something that is in line with the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, where we need to enhance the country's gross domestic product by deliberately investing and localizing some of this value chain within the country. The question around that we don't have strategic advantage to compete with the China is just a myth. We have seen what this company has done. We have seen the total investment that they have done. We have seen that in their product, they have enshrined things that even the products that we import from outside the country, they do not have that. For example, we have seen the barcodes that have been integrated in each panel, which provides information from the time the product, the SKDs or semi-knockdown components that are being used to produce the panel up to the manufactured level of the panel. All the information, the history around that PV panels, you can easily see it if you buy the panels that are there. We have seen the level of standard they put in place to get these panels out. We have also seen the level of efficiency, the level of automation that they have put in place, and the level of quality control put in place in producing this. This is Nigeria to the world. This is ensuring that we have in Nigeria products that can compete globally. And I'm saying this on record that the product being produced by this local company, LPV, here in Lagos, Ikotun, is a product that can compete internationally with any international company. They have what it takes to address or to contribute to addressing the electricity access challenge in the country. I'm very happy to be a Nigerian, seeing this kind of investment being done by Nigerians, and I look forward to continuous collaboration between Rural Electrification Agency and the LPV. And in conclusion, we have also seen how different government agencies can collaborate. I have with me my brother, the Executive Secretary of the Police Trust Fund, whom our Rural Electrification Agency signed an MOU with them to provide support and technical guidance and competencies in solarizing all the police stations across the country, which we have started, and he will give more details in that regard. So he has come here also to see where this product that a Rural Electrification Agency will use in this solarization. He has seen the standard, he has seen the quality and the availability of local this local product in country. It's showing the collaboration that is taking place between different government agencies across the federal level. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
We want to firstly commend the administration, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for its bold steps towards eradicating the energy insufficiency that we've faced in this country over the years. We believe that the policies of this administration have so far helped and encouraged people like ourselves to invest in this space. And what you have here is a 100 megawatt solar plant, manufacturing plant, which we plan to scale up to 300 megawatts before the end of the year. And this is in line with what we have seen. The encouragement we have seen from the government. The government has said that they're going to solarize public infrastructure. This would both reduce the cost of energy and also is speaking to sometimes we speak about the cost of energy and we forget the fact that there's the aspect of clean energy. We come from a background of oil and gas, so we know where the challenges are in terms of pollution. And part of the reason for why we set up this factory was to fill in that gap and ensure that we are contributing our own little quota towards ensuring that we have clean energy reaching out to everyone in the communities. We feel that if we are able to provide alternatives, then people can, affordable alternatives, working with multilateral agencies and our financial sector, and especially our partner here in the Rural Electrification Agency, we think that we can make our own little mark.
One of the things we looked at coming in with the police trust fund was how we can light up the police force. This is a major segment in the country where we discuss and we're dealing with security. Now, the police force and the police barracks, training facilities, and police stations are some of this infrastructure. One of the major issues that we have is lighting. Even in deployment of technology solutions, there's a problem without having lights. So I sat down with my brother and we discussed on how we can collaborate on getting this done. And we signed an MOU, which we've actually come into fruition. We're going to be launching one of the first smart police stations, which is off-grid. REA has been able to provide 20 kilowatts of power for a station that will be commissioning in about 2 weeks in Abuja. And this, what made me come on this journey was to actually take a look at the product that is coming out of this factory. And I've been quite impressed quality-wise to see what LPV is doing here. This is world standard. And as Abba said earlier, this is Nigeria to the world. And I'm very proud to actually be here today. And based on the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, the collaboration between REA is going to extend that we as the Police Trust Fund would also collaborate with LPV in the future for how we can have solutions, power solutions for the training facilities of police officers, the barracks, the police stations, and all across the nation. So we're coming up shortly. We'll commission one of the first stations in Nigeria that will be off-grid, the first smart police station. And this has been in collaboration and a partnership with REA. And the future of policing and security in Nigeria has been started with the collaborations like this. And we're going to continue with furtherance and things like this. So I thank you very much. And I'm very happy to be here today. Thank you very much.
Basically, for manufacturing of solar panels, we use 15 components to make up the one solar panel. And the components are the solar cell, the flux, the ribbon, 2 types of ribbon, frames, adhesives, and also the glass, which is very, very key because that's the basic raw material. We also make use of ethyl vinyl acetate, that's the EVA, like laminates and the back sheet, to actually ensure that the ingress protection of the cells are also, well protected, because one of the drawbacks to most solar panels we have is poor ingress protection. So we are very, very intentional in the manufacturing, in the recipe that we have done, to ensure that we use 2 EVA encapsulants as well as 1 backsheet. And the whole essence is basically to create that inert atmosphere in which the electronic cells, all the solar cells are, brought together. And also, we say we are giving a performance warranty of 5 years. This is assured because there's no way water, which is also a good conductor of electricity, will get to the solar cell. And again, as we give out the solar cell, it's also important we also ensure the warranty on the product warranty. So every of our raw materials are carefully selected to actually achieve this. This is actually the exit into the production hall. This is the beginning of the entire production process. It starts with the gas and the EVA. The tempered gas is about 28 kilogram, and the EVA, which is the ethyl vinyl acetate, is laid on top as a base layer. This is actually to create an inert environment where the cells are placed on, and the cell placement is done by the stringer. Now, the stringer itself does 2 major operations. Apart from laying off the cells, it also does a quality inspection. Now, let's go to the stringer. You see how that operates. So, for the stringer and turbo function, we have the ribbon, the flux, as well as the cells. 72 full cord cells comes in, and we break it into 144. Now, we have the laser unit that does the splitting, the cell breaker, and the robot that does the placement. Now, there are 5 things that goes on here because we have an AI precision camera that helps to detect microcracks on the cell. It also helps to detect cell dimension imbalance, and if they have micro holes. So all of this is done because we need to also assure that the cells we are using is of top quality. And not only that, we also have an AI-enabled robot that does, you can see the robot goes in, picks the string cells, and lays them up. Now, it waits for the next batch of solar cells because we use both sides. This right side currently is eating up while the other one is ready. So as soon as you have a string of 12, it goes into the cell splitter, then the robot picks it. And that is the action we are seeing there. So this is the auto bossing machine, and its basic job is to create the soldering. Because you have 144 cells coming in, you need to solder and connect them together. Because they are actually disjointed, you need to bring them together. It has the soldering at the front end, the middle, and at the back end. It is also from this machine that you get the junction, the positive, the negative, and the bypass. Now we'll see that at the end. What is going on there is actually the soldering action. The panel or the module at this stage has been ejected from the machine. Then we'll see what happens here after. Now we also have an LED below that tells you the space and the way the cells are arranged. If there is no space in between, then you have cell overlap, and that will cause a short circuit. So quality inspection physically is done here, and once this is done, we have the team over there. Once they check that it is okay, then they put the encapsulant and the backsheet, and that goes to the next process over there. So what the guys do here is both physical inspection and also electronic inspection. Now we have an electroluminance tester. It actually works by the principle of reverse DC voltage. We have a DC generator in the machine that gives that reverse DC voltage onto the probes of the solar modules. It creates a kind of radioactive recombination, and there is a camera that detects that particular recombination and sends it to an echo software that interprets the image from that particular recombination, and it comes on the screen. So at this stage, there are modules ready, and our machine here is called EcoLam Max 5. It actually laminates 5 modules per time, per cycle. A cycle is 12 minutes, and the cooling cycle is 5 minutes. Again, this machine is designed to be eco-friendly because the polystyrene fumes that comes here from the vacuum generator there, we have an oil filter bath that filters the air, and this goes out into the environment. So we are intentional about renewable and also being environmentally friendly. Then this machine also has that vacuum pump that creates that vacuum for the laminate to happen. At startup is 12 minutes, but as you continue, it's 7 minutes and 5 minutes. After lamination, you have the discharge tunnel, and it works by the principle of recombination of positive displacement of air. You have air already from here, which is the ambient, and immediately the first module gets to the discharge sensor. these two sensors here, it triggers the blower. The blower takes in the ambient air and recirculates this within, so that after 5 minutes, the modules are easy for you to touch, because it comes here to the trimming station where you actually cut it. And this is also intentional because we want to ensure that our product quality in terms of appearance is top notch.
So, and you can play with the temperature to see if the irradiance fluctuates, what will be the output of the panel.
Okay, actually, once you reduce your temperature, definitely the output will. It's just like you are trying to reduce the sunlight. So, of course, you get lower output. That's what happens. That's what happens. But we have set it at the maximum point.
Like, what's the total workforce?
Total workforce for the line is 18. 18 currently.
For one shift?
For one shift, 8 full-time operative and 2 support staff.
So you can do how many shifts? You can do?
Yes. 24 hours.
So 18 per shift. And these are just the technicians.
They are technicians, the engineers.
Engineers. How did you source the technique, the engineers in terms of training? Did LPV train them, or you get them ready-made from the market?
Yes, actually, coincidentally, I'm also the training manager. While we started this project, August last year, we were intentional about the recruitment. We got fresh graduates and mixed with some few experienced engineers in the field, about 2 to 3 years. So they were brought into LPV and we took them through assessment first, because we did a technical assessment before we were able to shortlist. Then we had a practical interview where we got the first set of 20 engineers, and they went into the classroom for about 5 to 6 months. We went through all the basics of engineering, not just that, also manufacturing excellence in terms of TPN, lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, and every other thing that we need to actually deploy. And that was why it was easy for us in January when we started the line. February commercial phase, we are already producing, because they have been trained. And we are also intentional about the next generation. Currently, we have 8 core members. So these are all part of our master plan, and of course, strategy from the leadership of the company. Okay, so this is just the final point of the line. After the panels have been, we have the polysilicon, the serial label. It gets a sun man cap as well as a QC pass. That is the sun man cap and the QC pass. Immediately this is on the panel, it is quarantined, because there are offline quality checks. So just to ensure that what we give is actually, standard. And also, we are also looking at local sourcing. Already we have our strategies around that to ensure that raw materials are sourced locally. We've actually made some contacts with Frudo Glass, Toa Aluminium, Sika at Ilupeju, and also Bob Plus in Kaduna, so that we can actually get this thing much more local and much more Nigerian. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.